It's Sunday morning. You're really excited because today your brand new cartoons are coming out, and so you go fill up a big bowl of cereal, go sit down in front of the TV and start watching the new episode of your favorite show. Then you go and nag your mom enough so that she can take you to Pizza Hut so you can enjoy some pizza time, while you also beg her to take you to Blockbuster so you can get the brand new movie that has just come out. Terminator is one of the best movies you've been excited for. You've been waiting for it for so long, and she finally takes you to go and rent it. This is the power of nostalgia. An interesting medium utilized in pop culture and media nowadays in the 21st century, a way to bring back and utilize memories and nostalgia and feelings from the past, trying to bring you back to the past, trying to bring you to a better era, to a more fun when you were a child and innocent and you had all this other stuff that you really enjoyed, where you didn't have to worry about problems or issues around the world, where the only thing you had to worry about is just waking up, eating your favorite cereal, watching your favorite cartoons, eating pizza, and just enjoying and having a good time. It's the part of nostalgia world can be a double-sided coin in a lot of different aspects. I'm sure you've seen all these movies and all these books and TV shows and books and comics and all these different aspects of media which are really trying to rely on the power of nostalgia, particularly 80s or 90s nostalgia, to try to get their product to be sold and to garner interest into it. Now, this can be, again, a double-edged sword. It can get, in different aspects, nostalgia can feel as a lazy way to develop a story by relying heavily on what's already known, pieces of media that has had a popularity for the last 10, 20, 30 years. However, at the same time, it can be powerful and impactful in a lot of different ways. It can definitely grab you in the right direction. 30 Sentinels is one of the interesting pieces of media that actually is able to do that and more. 30 Sentinels, it's my favorite game on 2020. Not the best game, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's one of the best pieces of media ever written, but it definitely does something interesting when it comes to 80s nostalgia. Not only do they grab famous pieces of media that are already really well known, but they actually do center around a specific style, especially gravitating towards sci-fi. Things like Terminator, E.T., War of the Worlds, Kamen Rider, Godzilla, the Kaijus, mechas. There's all these different aspects that they grab from these pieces of media, but they're actually able to put them together into something that only writes a really coherent and interesting story, but they're also able to make it really memorable, and it does kind of feel like its own unique thing. It's really well written and so interesting that they're able to grab so many different pieces of 80s nostalgia, but at the same time able to make them coherent. It does feel like it's a part of the same world, time traveling with aliens and robots and mechs and being able to go into different dimensions. There's all these different aspects that sound so unique and so out of the different worlds that they are from. And definitely, if you are a sci-fi buff, somebody that is interested or into sci-fi and 80s, particularly 80s and 90s sci-fi, you can definitely pick apart and see what aspects come from what. But at the end of the day, it's so well written and so interesting that they are able to merge them together and actually make it into something coherent and viable, that it doesn't even matter to me whether it's something like that. It doesn't really even matter to me whether it's nostalgic or 80s like or anything like that. It does make it feel like its own entity, and it does make it feel like it works really well within its world. In for that aspect, I do want to say this is one of the best 80s nostalgia written pieces of media that I've seen in a really long time. Not only does it make sense, not only in the world interesting, the characters are unique, all the different pieces of media well made, the art itself is beautiful, the music is fantastic, everything in this aspect, which was taken from many different well-known pieces of media. However, one of the more interesting aspects is not just nostalgia, the way that they handle sci-fi and movies and everything like that, but also how they're able to put relatable moments of everyday life. One of my favorite moments in the game is when Juro is just gonna go and hang out with his friends, Amiguchi, who is one of the other rich kids in the story and everything, as how he's introduced, and you literally just go to his house, play video games, listen to music. They're talking about going out to eat, having dinner together and everything. And this is just an interesting moment because there's nothing in story-wise that is happening. It's just them hanging out, having a moment. But these moments just really bring you back to the moments when you were a high schooler or a teenager, and you're just gonna go and hang out with your friends, play video games with them. It brings you back of the era of the GameCube or the PlayStation 2, where you're like having game nights, something like that. Those moments bring a specific, different kind of nostalgia that makes it unique, different, and at the same time very organic. This is Kuro with the Vena channel, and this is 80s Nostalgia. Well done.